from New Jersey to Belfast, Ireland. And they were downsizing at AT&T, and it became a choice of which engineers were going to get fired and which ones were going to stay. And he says, I'm not waiting around. And he retired at 40 and went to Florida, bought an orange grove, started raising oranges, and the year that the orange grove trees all froze and there was no crop, he ended up selling the orange grove, and he had to go back to work. And he went back as a lineman. And one day he's working on some very intricate wiring, and the supervisor said, Jimmy, how did you know what wires to put where? She says, that's not actual Wyman stuff that you're messing with there. And he said, well, I used to do this when I was in Homedale and whatnot. And the guy says, you mean you're an engineer? And he said, well, yeah, but I didn't want to tell you that because then you're going to tell me you're not going to get hired, and I don't want to do that. Well, he says, you are hired and you are an engineer, so you're going to go to work down here because we need those kind of people in the office. So when he worked up here, they used to go to work in T-shirts and shorts in the summertime with sandals. Believe it or not, in the heat of Florida, you wore black suits, brown suits, blue suits, neckties, and bow ties to work with polished shoes. Well, when Jimmy walked into the place, they had told him, he did his interview, this is where he's going to work. And of course, it was the middle of summer, and he went attired as he had done in Homedale. And they stopped him at the door. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? And he says, I'm going to work. We don't dress like that down here. Well, he says, I'll tell you what, that's how we dressed in New Jersey. And if you want me to work here, that's how we're going to dress down here. And they said, well, okay, but don't make it a habit. Well, within a week, the whole engineering department found out he wore shorts, we're going to wear shorts. And so everybody wore the shorts and whatnot. Well, then he ended up being in charge of one that went from here to Puerto Rico. And then he retired, went back out into, actually he went into a vitamin store, and then he retired and they moved out to Arizona.
Okay.